Hi everyone, I'm Datu as Angkay II and this is a continuation report. Today we will be discussing the rule number 5, 6, 7, and 8. Let's start with rule number 5, which is the game. Section 1 is the choice of the turn at bat. The choice of the first or last bat in the inning shall be decided by a toss of coin, unless otherwise stated in the rules of the organization under which the schedule of game is being played. So, the best way para magkaroon ng fair judgment is both team is to have a toss coin. Section number 2 is the fitness of ground. The fitness of the ground for a game shall be decided solely by the plate umpire. Section 3, regulation game. Dapat ang regulation game should consist of 7 innings. A full 7 innings need not be played if the team second at bat score more runs in 6 innings or before the third out in the last of the 7 innings. A game that is tied at the end of the 7 innings shall be continued by playing additional innings or until one side has scored more runs than the other at the end of the complete inning, or until the team second at bat has scored more runs in their half of the inning before the third out is made. But in Section 3 regulation games, there is exemption. If the pitcher, kung ang pitcher ay mag-continue na repeatedly violate the pitching regulation, so kung mayroon siyang paulit-ulit na violating pitching regulation, he shall be excluded from the pitching position for the remainder of the game. Section 4, winner of game. The winner of the game shall be the team that scores more runs in regulation game. So kung sino po yung team na nakascores more runs in regulation game will be the winner of game. Section 5, run ahead rule. A run ahead rule shall be used at all tournaments and championships. So ginagamit ito sa lahat ng tournaments and championships. 1 FP only, 15 runs after 3 innings, 10 runs after 4 innings, or 7 runs after 5 innings. Complete innings must be played unless the team second at the bat scores the required number of runs while at bat. When the team, so kung yung team first at bat reaches the required number of runs in the top half of the innings, the team second at bat must have their opportunity to bat in the bottom half of the inning. Section 6, the tiebreaker. Starting with the top of the 8th inning, in each half inning thereafter, the offensive team shall begin its turn at bat with the player who is scheduled to bat 9th FP, 10th in SP, 11th in SP with an EP, or 12th in co-ed SP with EPS, in the half inning being placed on second base. The player who is running can be substituted in accordance with substitution rules. But note, if incorrect runner in the lineup is played on second base, this error may be corrected as soon as it is noticed, but there is no penalty. So walang penalty. Section 7, 1 run shall be scored each time a runner legally touches first, second, third bases, and home plate before the third out of the inning. Pero meron siyang exemption. Nagamit lang tayo ng exemption when the tiebreaker is used. The runner starting at second base does not have to touch first base in order for a legal run to be scored. So para makascore. Section 8, charge conferences. There are 2 kinds of charge conferences, from offensive conferences and defensive conferences. Dito sa offensive conferences, there shall only be 1. So meron lang isang offensive conference in an inning. Dito sa defensive conferences, there shall be 3 charged defensive conferences in 7 inning game. For every inning beyond 7, There shall be one charge conference per inning. Rule 6. Pitching Regulations. Fast pitch only. Section 1. Preliminaries. Before commencing the delivery pitch, the pitcher may not take the pitching position on or near the pitcher's plate without having the ball in his possession. Shall not be considered in pitching position unless the catcher is in position to receive the pitch. Section 2. Starting the pitch. The pitch starts when one hand is taken off the ball or the pitcher makes any motion that is part of his wind-up. Section 3. Legal delivery. The pitcher must not make any motion to pitch without immediately delivering the ball to the batter. The pitcher must not use a pitching motion in which, after having the ball in both hands in the pitching position, he removes one hand from the ball, keys a backward and forward swing, and returns the ball to both hands in front of the body. Section 4. Defensive positioning. The pitcher shall not deliver a pitch unless all defensive players, except the catcher, who must be in the catcher's box, are positioned in fair territory. Section 5. Foreign substance. No member of the defensive team shall, at any time during the game, be permitted to use any foreign substance on the ball. A pitcher who licks his fingers must whip off his fingers before making contact with the ball. Section 6. The catcher must remain within the catcher's box until the pitch is released. Shall return the ball directly to the pitcher after each pitch, including after the foul ball. Section 7. Throwing a base. The pitcher, after he has taken the pitching position, shall not throw to a base during live ball while his foot is in contact with the pitcher's plate. Note: the pitcher may remove himself from the pitching position by stepping backwards off the pitcher's plate prior to the separating his hands. Section 8. Intentional base on balls. If the defensive team desires to have an intentional base on balls awarded to a batter, either the pitcher, catcher, or coach may do so by notifying the plate umpire, who shall award the batter first base. Section 9. Warm-up pitches. Sa simula, first inning for both teams, or when a pitcher relieves another, not more than 1 minute may be used to deliver not more than 5 pitches to the catcher or another team member. At the start of each half inning, the pitcher from the previous inning shall have 1 minute to throw up 3 warm-up pitches. If 1 minute has expired or is about to expire, the umpire shall restrict the pitcher to 1 warm-up pitch. Section 10. No pitch. No pitch shall be declared when the pitcher pitches during the suspension of play, the pitcher attempts a quick return of the ball, a runner is called out for leaving, the pitcher pitches before a runner has retouched, a player, manager, or coach employs any other word or faces or commits any act while the ball is alive. Section 11. Drop ball. If the balls slip from the pitcher's hand during his delivery, a ball is declared on the batter, and the ball will remain in play and the runners may advance at their own risk. Section 12. Illegal pitcher. A pitcher who has been declared an illegal pitcher as a result of the team exceeding the charge conference limit may not return to the pitching position at any time for the remainder of the game. Rule 6. Pitching Regulations. Modified pitch only. Section 1. Preliminaries. Before commencing the delivery pitch, the pitcher may not take the pitching position on or near the pitcher's plate without having the ball in his possession. Section 2. Starting the pitch. The pitch starts when one hand is taken off the ball. Section 3. Legal delivery. The pitcher must not make any motion to pitch without immediately delivering the ball to the batter. Note: It is not a step if the pitcher slides his foot across the pitcher's plate, provided contact is maintained with the plate. Lifting the pivot foot off the pitcher's plate and returning it to the plate, creating a rocking motion, is an illegal act. Section 4. Defensive positioning. A pitcher shall not deliver a pitch unless all defensive players, except the catcher, who must be in the catcher's box, are positioned in fair territory. Section 5. Foreign substances. No member of the defense team shall, at any time during the game, be permitted to use any foreign substance on the ball. Bawal. A pitcher who licks his fingers must whip off his fingers before making contact with the ball. Section 6. The catcher must remain within the catcher's box until the pitch is released. Section 7. Throwing to a base. The pitcher, after he has taken a pitching position, shall not throw to a base during a live ball while his foot is in contact with the pitcher's plate. Section 8. Intentional base on balls. If the defensive team desires to have an intentional base on balls awarded to a batter, either the pitcher, catcher, or coach may do so by notifying the plate umpire, who shall award the batter first base. Section 9. Warm-up pitches. At the beginning of the first inning for both teams, or when a pitcher relieves another, not more than 1 minute may be used to deliver not more than 5 pitches to the catcher or another team member. Section 10. No pitch. Section 10. No pitch shall be declared when the pitcher pitches during the suspension of play. The pitcher attempts a quick return of ball. Section 11. Drop ball. If the ball slips from the pitcher's hand during his delivery, a ball is declared on the batter and the ball will remain in play. Section 12. Illegal pitcher. A pitcher who had been declared an illegal pitcher as a result of the team exceeding the charged conference limit may not return to the pitching position at any time for the remainder of the game. Rule 6. Pitching regulations. Slow pitch only. This is almost the same. Section 1. Preliminaries. Section 2. Starting the pitch. Section 3. Legal delivery. Section 4. Defensive positioning. Section 5. Foreign substance. Section 6. The catcher. Section 7. Quick pitch. Section 8. Intentional base on balls. Section 9. Warm-up pitches. Section 10. No pitch. Section 11. Illegal pitcher. Rule 7. Batting. Section 1. The on-deck batter. Section 2. Batting order. Section 3. Batting position. Section 4. Strike is called by the umpire. Section 5. A ball is called by the umpire. Section 6. The batter is out. Section 1. The on-deck batter. The on-deck batter, at the start of the inning, is the lead-off batter, who must remain in his on-deck circle until called to the batter's box. Once an inning has started, is the offensive player who in the batting lineup is the next player to enter the batter box. May take a position with either on-deck circle so he is behind the batter and not on the batter's open side. May loosen up with no more than 2 official softball bats, an approved warm-up bat, or a combination not to exceed 2. Section 2. Batting order. The batting order of each team must be on the score sheet, lineup card, and must be delivered before the game by manager or captain to the official scorer and the plate umpire. He shall submit it to the inspection of the manager or captain of the opposing team. Section 3. Batting position. A batter must take his position in the batter's box within 10 seconds after the umpire has declared play ball. The umpire shall call a strike. A pitch does not need to be thrown and the ball becomes dead. Section 5. A ball is called by the umpire. For each legally pitched ball that does not enter the strike zone or touches the ground before reaching home plate and is not swung at. Touches home plate and at which the batter does not swing. Section 6. The batter is out when the third strike is swung at the missed and ball touches any part of the batter's person, not swung, and the pitch ball hits the batter while the pitch is in the strike zone. When a batter enters the batter box with or is discovered using an altered bat, note the batter is also ejected from the game. Rule 8. Batter runner and runner. Section 1. The batter becomes a batter runner. Section 2. Batter runner is out. Section 3. The batter runner is not out. Section 4. Touching bases in legal order. Section 5. Runners are entitled to advance with liability to be put out. Section 6. A runner forfeits his exemption from liability to be put out. Section 7. Runners are entitled to advance without liability to put out. Section 8. A runner must return to his base. Section 9. The runner is out. Section 10. The runner is not out. Section 1. The batter becomes a batter runner when he legally hits a fair or foul ball. When the catcher fails to catch the third strike before the ball touches the ground, and there are less than 2 outs and first base is unoccupied, or there are 2 outs. This is known as a third strike rule. Section 2. Batter runner is out. FP only. When the catcher drops the third strike and the batter runner is legally touched with the ball while off base or thrown out prior to the reaching first base. When a fielder legally catches a fly ball before it touches the ground or any object or person other than a defensive player. When, after hitting a fair ball, he is tagged while off base or thrown out prior to reaching first base. When he fails to advance to first base and instead enters his team area after a fair ball is hit or after a base on ball is issued. Section 3. The batter runner is not out when a fielder makes a play on a batter runner while using an illegal glove. The manager of the offended team has the option of taking the result of the play or having the play resume batting. Section 4. Touching bases in legal order. Runners must touch base in legal order: first, second, third, and home plate. Exemption: if a runner is obstructed at the base preventing the runner from touching the base. When runner is returning to the base left before a caught fly ball is first touched, or the missed base while the ball is in play, he must touch the bases in reverse order. Section 5. Runners are entitled to advance with liability to be put out. FP only when the ball leaves the pitcher's hand on his delivery. SP only when a pitched ball is batted on the thrown ball or failed batted ball that is not blocked. Section 6. A runner forfeits his exemption from liability to be put out if at any time he fails to touch base. He is entitled to before attempting to make the next base. Exemption: if a runner is obstructed at base preventing the runner from touching the base. If after overrunning first base, he attempts to continue to second base. If after dislogging a base, he attempts to continue to the next base. Section 7. Runners are entitled to advance without liability to be put out. A. When forced to vacate the base because the batter was awarded a base on balls. FP only. The ball remains in play unless it is blocked. Any runner affected is entitled to one base and may advance further at his own risk if the ball is in play. FP only. The ball is dead. Section 8. Runner must return to his base a runner must return to his base but need not touch the intervening bases. A. When a batted ball is declared foul. B. When the umpire declares the ball to have been illegally batted. C. When a batter runner is called out for interference. D. When the on-deck batter or any other non-playing team member creates interference. E. FP only. When any part of the batter's person is touched by a pitch ball swung and missed. Section 9. The runner is out. A. When, while running to any base in regular or reverse order, he runs more than 0.91 meter or 3 feet from the base path to avoid being touched by the ball in the hands of a fielder. B. When, while the ball is in play and he is not in the contact with a base, he is legally touched with the ball in the hands of a fielder. C. When, on a forced play, a fielder, while holding the ball, contacts the base to which the runner is forced to advance. Section 10. The runner is not out when he runs behind or in front of the fielder and outside the base path in order to avoid interfering with a fielder attempting to field the batted ball in the base path. When he does not run in direct line to the base, provided the fielder in the direct line does not have the ball in his possession. When more than one fielder attempts to field a batted ball and the runner comes in contact with the one who, in the umpire's judgment, was not entitled to field the ball. And here ends my report. Thank you for watching. Stay safe and God bless.